Hello, this is the LEGO Ninjago Dawn of Iron Doom. Now let me get right into this, starting with a quick look at the setting in the background. LEGO refers to this as the Swamp Fort, and it's really built in two major sections. This tall area, which is kind of Spartan in its construction, uses some support pieces and some large door frames and has some ladders on it. And then the small part over to the left, which is just a small kind of jail cell. Has a nice set of doors on the front of it that actually interlock pretty nicely with these small red kind of claw pieces. They actually go into the holes on the other side. It's the first time I've seen them actually do that. It closes up that well. This is also completely enclosed. It's kind of the stump of an old tree. It's completely enclosed around all sides, but the opening is a little bit difficult to get your fingers in there. So getting a figure to actually stand up requires either very small fingers or a little bit of luck or extra dexterity. And you'll see a number of clips on here. On the other side, the tower side, you'll see a number of bar elements sticking off the sides. Now, the bar elements can be used to hold on to ladders like you see here. The clips can be used to hold on to weapons if you want, but you can also kind of mix things together in different ways. They actually kind of try to play up the fact that you can assemble this together in different ways. Take these two apart. There's the clip piece there, there's the bar piece there. You turn this around, do it like this instead. Or if you want to have some extra space there, add an extra obstacle to basically making it from one side to the other. Clip this together like that. Move one of the ladders around. As a matter of fact, the upper ladder is even on a hinge right there. So that can be brought around this way if you want. So, you know, some things that can be done to change things up and ensure that you can play with all of the spaces here. The thing at the very top is kind of a trap setup. It's one of those vermilion eggs, a taller version, and you can turn this spear, which is connected to a flag piece that's underneath there. I'm going to put Jay back where he was before I knocked him off. It's kind of a catapult kind of setup down here. So what I'm going to do is turn the spear up on the top to move the flag, which will knock the vermilion egg over, and then hopefully it'll knock Jay off from this platform. There we go. That was perfect. In some cases, you could potentially perhaps hit this just right and cause the good guy or bad guy who's on that platform to catapult off going forwards. You could actually use it to your advantage, but I think most of the time it's best just to use it as a trap. So a number of different things you can do with this. Let's get to the main build though. This snake mech is large. Relative to a minifig, it's very large, bigger than I expected it to be, and that's a good thing. It's very stable, even though it angles back in this serpentine fashion. Let me move this arm out of the way so you can see the shape of the body a little bit better. Uses a very sturdy set of Technic lift arms that are held together quite well, and then all this stuff in the front is just kind of fascia. It just adds completion and the good look to it. It doesn't actually contribute at all to the structure of the thing. The tail is able to wag around very easily side to side, but it also has ball joints on it, so you can repose it. Bring that up. Oops, that was disconnected partway there, but bring this up more like this. You can also change these little tines at the end, just to change up your pose a little bit to make it look like it's either staying in one place or it's moving around. The arms are able to come up and down and rotate around because they are on ball joints up at the shoulders, but at the elbow it's just a hinge for each one. The hands have articulating fingers, so you can open these up, which is a pretty cool look for the claw. No thumb though, but these swords can be removed. They're kind of held on there part way. Just helps to make sure that things aren't going to fall out. As long as you've got the fingers closed up like this, the sword will stay in place, and that's done exactly the same on each of the hands. A nice little compromise there, so it's easy to take this off. And you can actually attach each of these swords to the back of the mech. They have a couple of Technic pins that stick out here, and it's very convenient to just attach these on like so, and then you can pose them up however you want to bring them farther apart or closer together. However, it does show this gearbox here. What does that gearbox do? Well, on the front of the mech, there's this time portal. It's a printed disc piece, and you can spin that around however fast you want, get it to stop wherever you want. It's kind of smooth how they integrated it in with the one large fender piece over the top. And all four of these time blades are included in the set, so you don't need to collect all the ones from the other individual sets. If you just get this big one, spend the big amount of money for the big set, you are rewarded with a full collection. Further up top, kind of the head of the thing is able to open up a little bit this way, and it's also able to be brought back like so to change the angle of this spring-loaded shooter. So you can fire forward or you can fire more down towards the ground at a minifig down below. Just one single one there. Kind of looks like a central eye from the front, and maybe these are supposed to represent fangs or something. I don't like the looks of these assemblies out here. As viewed from the front, from every other angle, I think they look pretty cool with kind of the winglet elements there. This is all just set up just to kind of cover up the Technic stuff that's going on underneath there. But this also has space, as you see, for two minifigs to be posed there. They can be either sitting down like this or standing up, one on either side. And each one gets somewhat of a console, so it seems they can be working together to operate the mech and its weapon systems. These are the Time Twins, Acronix and Crux. They have pretty intricate and different prints between the two of them. Identical printed hood pieces with the copper print on there. That looks pretty nice. I don't think I've seen one of these hoods done up so nicely previously. Copper is also used within the minifig torsos and the hips and the legs. They have identical kind of pauldron / half cape pieces, but you just put them on, in opposite ways. And beneath these hoods, one of them has an alternate face. Just one, not both. So one of them can be converted back to kind of a regular human form. Interesting looking little port there, or maybe that's part of an implant, it looks like. And as an extra bonus, what I really like that they've done here is they've included hair for each of these. So you could just use it like that, or you could use this hair piece just to represent the hood off evil look. And here's one last look at these from different angles with their hair pieces on. I think especially Crux on the right there looks really good with that hair piece on. Reminds me of a lot of classic Chinese kung fu flicks and the bad guys with the long hair in black. One other bad guy in this set is Commander Blunk, who uses the orange transparent color for the dual mold in the helmet this time around, relative or compared to the red that they used for Slackjaw, for example. And he's got orange going all the way through the body. This blade looks a little bit orange when you let light straight through it, but it's actually just transparent red, the normal color for that one. Let me take some of this stuff off for you. Blah. There's a certain realism to these vermilion hive serpentoid creations. It just kind of looks like all of the orange on this thing is all just flesh of those serpents. It's all just combined together. It's definitely creepy. On the hero side, this set brings us Lloyd, Wu, and Jay. Wu is looking kind of classic to me. It's got a simpler print. I'll have to take off the facial hair to let you see that a little bit better. Let me go ahead and do that now, take off all this extra stuff. Secondary face for Jay and Jay alone. This lets you see the full unobscured back prints for the two ninja on the sides. And from the front, see how just simple and basic and pure Wu's outfit appears? It's very, very clean. Finishing up the little stuff, Lloyd actually gets his own color of kind of jet ski, water scooter thing, which is a very thin, sleek build, but I appreciate the use of small pieces for this rather than using that same typical piece that they almost always use for Lego jet ski type things, water scooter type things. It's kind of like the bottom of a hull. This you actually put together, and I think it's kind of cute, and you know, it works well with the size of the minifigure. Also, with the set for the swamp, they include 6 of these just general basic old classic small snakes that you can just distribute about as you like. And with that egg that I showed you before, I want to show you what was actually rattling around inside of that. Just some stud pieces that can be brought out. However, this egg has that taller section to it, so if you want, you actually do have enough space to put snakes in there. You can just have them like this, like snakes in a barrel kind of thing, or you can close this up. And if you close it up not fully, like just enough, you can actually get it to the point where if you throw it on the ground or you hit it hard enough, it'll actually split apart. It's tough to get it to that point, and I'm probably not going to do it right now. I don't want to waste too much of your time, but it is possible to get it to where you can get this to explode and have snakes come out of it. Best thing about this set to me is the price to part ratio. I feel like you get a pretty good value in terms of the volume of stuff, because there aren't too many tiny pieces, you know, 1x1s and such, that kind of pad up the value. So I feel like you really get what you pay for here. I initially wasn't too happy about how skeletal this tower section of the swamp fort was, but once I started actually messing around with it and seeing how you can reconfigure things, it started to make more sense to me, and I started to like it quite a bit more. For, again, the number of pieces that are included here, I feel like you get a good value in terms, just with this, in terms of how many things you can do with it, how many different places you can place figures, and how you can change things up to really suit your play style, or even just setting it up for different types of dioramas for display. Though the size and stability of the snake mech are very good, I'm actually very disappointed in the articulation of the arms, or the lack thereof. The triceps really get in the way of some important motion, and the lack of any wrist articulation or a second axis of movement for the elbows prevents you from getting into a lot of useful poses, especially when you actually use the swords, put one of the swords in the hand of this guy. You're able to bring the sword across the body this way, do an outward slash. You're never able to get the sword to be facing straight up and down in front of you. The only way to get it straight up and down is to bring the arms out like this, but now I can't bring the whole arm towards the front. You know, it's just very limited in what you can do in terms of actually simulating battle kind of movements with this, and that's not a good thing. It's the most important thing, I think, in any kind of mech, any kind of semi-humanoid thing, something with arms that holds on to weapons, especially hand-to-hand, you know, direct combat weapons. You need to be able to slash. You need to be able to hit your targets in front of you. This is not able to hit anything on the ground. It's not able to lean forward. It's not even able to pose up the arms in the necessary way. So this definitely, in my opinion, needs modification to be useful for play beyond the little, you know, the spring-loaded shooter in the head. So that's it for my look at this set. Of course, it's great to get the Time Twins, and it's great to get a full collection of the Time Blades in one set. It's an impressive looking mech, although it is limited in what you can do with it. I'm surprised you can do more with the kind of background stuff than I expected. Let me know in a comment what you think about the set on the whole, and the positives and negatives as you perceive them. Thank you very much for watching. I hope I showed you everything you wanted to see about this set. And if you want to see more videos from me, be sure to check back on the channel on a regular basis, because new videos come out all the time. Catch you later.